Don't be deceived by the shiny, beautiful skies. It's absolutely freezing today. It's a subtle reminder that I'm a guest at this latitude as someone from the equator. So thank you, nature, for the subtle reminder. Anyway, I want to talk today about profit and loss. Apparently, a lot of you guys are in loss at the moment. I am not quite in loss yet. I'm barely above my dollar cost average now with the nosedive in the price, because I've been buying heavily over $3 I've been buying. So it pulled my dollar cost average up from under $1 to something close to what we are now. But I'm still in profit, yeah. So because of the nosedive in the price, yeah, a lot of you guys are actually now at a loss, apparently. And this is starting to bother people. And you know what people do when they're at a loss? Ironically, is they sell, which is the worst possible thing. What you should be doing, not financial advice, your own research, is hodling at least till you get back in the black, right? Or the green, depending on how you represent profit and loss, where you are from. Apparently, we haven't seen this this ratio of profit and loss since the token was about 50 something cents. So when it was 50 something cents, we had about 50%, or at least over 50%, barely over 50% of people in profit, and about 40 something percent in loss. And now we have that kind of ratio again because of the recent downturn in the price. Now, today, obviously, Franklin Templeton to the rescue with the launch of the XRP ETFs. What does this mean? Well, there's going to be a stabilization in the price, at least because of the inflows. But like we saw with the Canary Capital one, a lot of the inflows are probably going to come from swaps of in-kind or in-kind swaps, as they call it. Because a lot of these organizations have clients that already hold XRP. And those guys are going to be looking to seed, or some of them anyway, to seed the control of that XRP over to Franklin Templeton so that they can deal with things like security, insurance. If they were to lose their keys, they don't have to worry. Franklin Templeton would have it insured, and they can basically pay them back in dollars, I suppose, or at least guarantee their XRP value. So what they're looking for really is exposure to what they think is the best financial instrument in the market at the moment. They're just looking for exposure to that, but they don't really care much maybe about the token itself. Or, anonymity, security, not anonymity, security, financial freedom, autonomy, etc. That's not what they care about. They care about price go up, and they're not stupid. They can see that price indeed will go up, so they're investing. By the way, I'm using this microphone again. See how tiny that is, and look at the audio quality. I listened to it prior to making this recording just to make sure that the audio was going in okay, and it seems pretty loud, maybe even a little bit too loud. I'm gonna have to dial down the gain a little bit. You're probably catching a little bit of the ambience as well. There are lots of birds floating around on this beautiful day, enjoying the weather like I am. So in case you guys are interested in that, I'm gonna leave the link in description. Oh, shut up. I'm gonna leave the link in description for you guys to grab it. It's an affiliate link. And by the way, if you wait a couple of days, it's going to be Black Friday, and there's going to be price drops across the board. Especially, I actually checked with the manufacturers. They will be dropping the price as well. So you'll be getting a bit of a discount if you use my link. Not financial advice. Well, or whatever. Not audio technical advice. Do your own research. So how low is the price actually going to go? I looked at some predictions from some analysts and some TA from some technical chart analysts, those people that understand all these Fibonacci levels and all these lines and stuff. And people are talking about $1.50 $1.50 XRP. Man, I am going to go in hard if it does that, because that's going to pull down my dollar cost average back to where it used to be, or closer to where it used to be anyway. And that's going to bring me more success as the price inevitably goes up. Some part of me kind of wishes it does that, because I know it's going to be temporary. And I don't have any leverage trades, so I don't have to worry about liquidations or any of that. If you have leverage trades, this is probably not the best time. Not financial advice, your own research. You have options. You can throw some more collateral against it, or some margin, as they call it, or you cut your losses. Some of you are not actually in loss, even though you threw in the leverage a while ago. Some of you guys are very good at this. I'm not. I've dabbled a little bit in it here and there with $10, $20 here and there. I've won as many as I've lost, so I'm not, evens when it comes to that. But it isn't the best time to be playing with leverage at the moment, especially with, the broke banks and, some of these market makers themselves have made the wrong moves. Exchanges also do make wrong moves and lose. So they might be looking to balance the sheets with your money. So be careful with that. A lot of these liquidations are fake. They're fake outs. They're manipulation based. Market makers, they're still kind of not accountable at the moment. You saw what happened in Japan, with the government moving to change some of the laws to try and make these insider trading type people and manipulation people more accountable in crypto. Mind you, you can't legislate that stuff anyway, because manipulation is more than just, the conspiracy stuff when people sit down together and manipulate together. There are other things that they can do. They can control the news cycle. They can control the FUD. They can lobby, all sort of things. So just be careful. One thing they can't do, though, is they can't control your dollar cost averaging and your hodling, man. They can't control that. Personally, I still think November is looking very, very good, especially for XRP. Today is a big one with the ETFs. We'll see how that goes. And then we have another 3 or 4 come in succession. 2 of them happen on the 23rd. So this month is still looking very, very nice for XRP, not financial advice. Do your own research. Might not be looking that good for some of the other tokens. Ethereum is struggling. Bitcoin itself is struggling. Unfortunately, Bitcoin affects other tokens, but the great decoupling is coming, and one day we're not going to be dependent on or care much about what happens with Bitcoin, and maybe XRP itself might be the one that's controlling the ups and downs of the market. And if the cycle breaks, the 4-year cycle for Bitcoin, then it might not matter anyway. We might get a longer period of time where things are going to be pumping, which means we might get a longer runway, which means we might go further up than we predicted. Remember, the likes of Michael Saylor and even Larry Fink of BlackRock still think that Bitcoin is going to go to 150,000 minimum this cycle. And obviously, people like Michael Saylor believe that it's going to carry on going. Yes, we'll see some corrections and pullbacks. I personally still think that we're going to see the 80%, 70% pullbacks yet once more before we head for the super cycle, and then the cycle breaks and Bitcoin just joins the generic sort of market cycle for stocks and whatever, the financial markets at large. So don't be exasperated by the happenings. Just relax, get outside, enjoy the cold. If you're in the northern hemisphere, if you're in the southern hemisphere, then I hate you. If you're in Australia, then your summer is just starting over there. So enjoy yourself. Over here, we're moving into winter. It's still autumn, but boy, is it cold today. Peace.